After grading every player on every play this weekend, here's your PFF Team of the Week for preseason Week 2. At quarterback, it was Nate Sudfeld of the Philadelphia Eagles coming in with a 90.5 grade. When Nick Foles went down to injury due to a sack from Adrian Clayborn, Sudfeld stepped in and played most of the rest of the game with 57 snaps. He only completed 52.4% of his passes, but 4 were dropped, and he had 5 big-time throws on the night.
At running back, we have Carlos Hyde of the Cleveland Browns with a score of 79.4. The Browns were able to gash the Buffalo defense early in the game on the ground, and Hyde brought the largest amount of that damage. He's had 9 attempts for 64 yards, and 60 of them came after contact.
At wide receiver, it was Jake Kumaro of the Green Bay Packers. He's been lighting up Packers training camp this season, and he carried it into the game against the Steelers, catching all 3 targets sent his way for 114 yards, including one 93-yard catch and run for a touchdown.
Our other wide receiver is James Washington of the Pittsburgh Steelers with a PFF grade of 88.2. In college, Washington was a force on the deep ball and on contested catches. He proved that he still has those skills at the NFL level, scoring twice on badly thrown passes where he simply outmuscled the defensive back at the catch point.
Our flex player this week is Calvin Ridley of the Atlanta Falcons. He was a threat in this game right from the opening kickoff, which he was able to run back for 34 yards. As a receiver, he caught 3 passes for 49 yards and a score, breaking open with ease using the same route running skills we saw at Alabama.
At tight end, we have Trey Burton of the Chicago Bears. Catching 4 of 5 targets for 45 yards and a score, we finally got to see the dynamic matchup weapon Burton can be within this offense and why they paid big money to acquire him in free agency. Burton was able to win both inside or split out wide as a receiver.
At left tackle, it was Tyron Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. He had 16 snaps in pass protection, allowing just 1 hurry, but he did his best work as a run blocker when he was driving people off the ball and sealing his man out of the play at the second level, opening up holes in the Dallas run game.
At left guard, it's Mike Iupati from the Arizona Cardinals with a PFF grade of 92. In 2018, the Arizona Cardinals may end up with the best guard tandem in the league, particularly when it comes to the run game. Iupati backed up his preseason debut with another strong run-blocking display against the Saints, and he didn't allow a single pressure on 13 pass-blocking snaps.
At center, it was Will Clapp of the New Orleans Saints. He spent some of his time at right guard, but regardless of where he played, he showed impressive power at the point of attack, and he also didn't allow a pressure on his 26 pass-blocking snaps. Clapp did his best work on combo blocks, taking care of his man first at the line of scrimmage before climbing to take out a linebacker at the second level.
At right guard, we have Brandon Brooks of the Philadelphia Eagles. Brooks does not look complacent on the back of a Super Bowl championship. One of the best guards in the game, he has yet to surrender a single pressure this preseason and has been a punishing run blocker, this time against the New England Patriots defensive front.
At right tackle, it was Ryan Ramczyk of the New Orleans Saints. He only had 6 snaps in pass protection, all were clean, but it was a fantastic job in the run game by Ramczyk, who had one of the best blocks you'll see, a backside cutoff of 3 technique Robert Kemdiche before pancaking him to the ground. It was a highlight reel game for Ramczyk in the run game.
Moving to the defensive side of the ball, we start off with edge defender Adrian Clayborn of the New England Patriots. Coming off a career year, Clayborn played 24 snaps as a starter against the Eagles and was one of the chief beneficiaries of the Big V's disastrous game at left tackle. Clayborn racked up a sack, a hit, and 2 hurries in 19 pass rushes.
On the other side at edge defender, we're splitting this one between Jordan Willis and Sam Hubbard of the Cincinnati Bengals. There's really no way to split them up as they were dominant as pass rushers. As a duo, they combined for 10 total pressures, with Willis finishing with 2 of them for sacks. Both players also saw extensive game action, with Willis playing 38 snaps and Hubbard playing 36.
Our first interior defensive lineman is Nathan Shepard of the New York Jets. By way of Fort Hays State isn't the usual route for an impact defensive player, but the Jets may have found one in Shepard. He had a hit and 2 defensive stops this week against Washington, showing the kind of dynamic athleticism and movement skills that caused the Jets to pull the trigger on him in the 3rd round. Alongside Shepard is Sheldon Day of the San Francisco 49ers. Playing the Houston Texans offensive line will help the cause of any pass rusher, and the 49ers backups in particular had a field day this week. Day notched 4 defensive stops to lead the team and also added a hit and a hurry as he was living in the Texans' backfield.
Moving to linebacker, it was Ben Neiman of the Kansas City Chiefs. With an interception to his name and solid grades in coverage and against the run, Neiman was one of the standouts at linebacker this week. His interception may have been thrown straight to him thanks to pressure collapsing the pocket, but he made a nice move to find space and fought through contact to bring it back for 6 points the other way.
The other linebacker is Matthew Thomas of the Pittsburgh Steelers. With the Steelers linebacker core crying out for an injection of speed and athleticism since the loss of Ryan Shazier to injury, Thomas made a good case for playing time this week. He played well against the run, but with Green Bay tight ends torching the Steelers' defense all night, Thomas was impressive, earning a pass breakup down the right sideline as he split out wide to cover Kevin Rader down the field.
At cornerback, it's Josh Jackson of the Green Bay Packers earning a 95.2 grade. PFF was really high on Jackson heading into the draft this past season, as we had him as our 8th ranked player on our final draft board. His performance against the Steelers really highlighted why, as he was targeted 3 times in coverage on the night. He didn't allow a single reception, and he picked off a pass, taking it to the house for a score. Overall, he ended the game having allowed a passer rating of 0.0 on throws into his coverage.
Jackson is joined by teammate Tramon Williams this week, who also notched himself a pick 6 against the Steelers. He allowed a passer rating of just 43.8 on throws into his coverage, with 1 reception for 19 yards to go along with that interception.
The third corner on the team is Chidobe Awuzie of the Dallas Cowboys. The second-year man out of Colorado is another corner who could boast allowing a passer rating of 0 on throws into his coverage this week. He was targeted just once in the game, snagging it for a spectacular one-handed interception.
Our first safety is Nate Holley of the Los Angeles Rams. Holley played 26 snaps in the Rams' win over the Raiders, including 15 in coverage. From those 15 snaps, he was the primary coverage defender on 2 passes and broke up both of them. Undrafted in 2017, he made a solid case for a long look at a roster spot with his performance on Saturday.
The other safety is Maurice Smith of the Miami Dolphins. He was active against the run and the pass, and the 2017 undrafted free agent allowed just 1 reception for 8 yards on plays where he was the primary defender, and he also came away with an interception.
On special teams, we start with kicker Mason Crosby of the Green Bay Packers. Crosby was perfect on the night, connecting on all 3 field goal attempts and all 6 extra points. He wasn't just hitting on chip shots either, with 2 of those field goal attempts coming on kicks of 50-plus yards.
At punter, it's the best college punter PFF has ever seen, Michael Dixon from the Seattle Seahawks. He continued his strong professional debut with 3 punts averaging 53 net yards per kick. He knocked 2 of them inside the opponent's 20-yard line and did a great job of not overkicking his coverage, as only 2 of the 3 were returned for a measly 1 yard.
Our special teams player of the week is J.J. Jones from the Los Angeles Chargers. Jones touched the ball 4 times on special teams, with 2 kickoff returns and 2 punt returns. The kick returns were unremarkable, going for 41 yards total with a long of 28, but it was as a punt returner where the magic really happened, breaking a 72-yard return for a touchdown in the second quarter.
Be sure to check out our full write-up on the PFF Team of the Week over at ProFootballFocus.com.